All right, so we're going to do our review of Targi. Just finished doing the playthrough and figured just let's get on it. Let's talk about what we think of this game. So let's flip the camera around here. Let's take a look at what we're talking about. This game, I picked this up on a whim. I actually was just filling up my cart at Miniature Market and I wanted to hit the $100 threshold. A friend of mine, David Taylor, he kept telling me about this game, kept saying, man, if you enjoy two-player games, which I absolutely do. I think two-player games are just my specialty. It's something that I enjoy more than multiplayer games. Then, you know, this is a game you need to be checking out. And I've put it off. Not to mention, this game is typically not the easiest one to find. I do know it is unstocked now online, but in the past, it has been difficult. It goes out of stock pretty quick. And finally I did. I threw it in the cart, and then of course after I purchased it, it literally just sat on my shelf for a couple of months. And then I finally busted it open, and all I can do after that is just say, oh my God, why did I not start playing this game sooner? This is a phenomenal two-player experience, and not just a two-player experience. This is just a phenomenal game in general. Now, if you saw my playthrough, I will talk a little bit about what you've got going on here, what I like, and possibly what I do dislike about the game in general. So I do like that the border cards are always the same, and that not only do you get to take the actions dependent upon where you stand on these border cards, but then you also get to take the actions of collecting either goods or the tribe cards from the center depending on where you cross on that section. And that's really the strategic nature of this game, is trying to figure out not only the action that you want to take on the border, but where you want to try, but where do you want to place on the border? On top of that, where do you want to cross in the middle of the field here, so that you can try to gain the resources or the tribe cards necessary for you to be able to complete your sets. And that's the other thing I like about this game, is I'm a huge fan of set collecting, but I'm also a fan of set collecting with somewhat of a more of a purpose, or kind of like tableau building. And what I mean by that is that not only are you trying to set collect, and you can go with either different types of tribe cards. So in this case, I did go with several of the huts here, and Oasis and Camel Riders, but you can create a mixture like she did down here, where it's one of each, and still score victory points and get more of a variety of cards out. But it is worth more victory points, obviously, to go with all the same, and that's why I kind of showed you a little bit of each, the different strategy here. Now, what I like about them, though, is that they give you abilities. Like in the case up here, I was getting so much salt and pepper, and there is a chance that maybe I received too much pepper and too much salt from these actions. I don't know what the clarification is on that. I'll check into that later. But what I'm saying, though, basically is that these abilities on these cards, so you're not only looking for the abilities, but you're also looking at what type of card it is, really puts you in a situation where you have to make a lot of cool strategic decisions. And that's what I like about this game. And then where do you want to place it after that? What type of a row do you want to make? That's really a lot of fun. The only negative thing I could possibly think about this game is that there are some cards that do attack your opponents, and I'm not a huge fan of being attacky in a game that's, I guess, so, I don't know, maybe I'm just... Maybe that's just, I'm exaggerating a little bit to try to find something negative about it, because I'll be honest with you, I really can't find much of anything, to be truthful. It is a really phenomenally produced game, designed game. I think it is one of those games that I play, and then I just turn around and I'm like, well, hey, it's been 30 minutes roughly, or 40 minutes, say, and I say, let's just set it up and play it again, because I want to see if I can beat my high score or not. And it's not always even about beating your high score. It's just the joy of just playing the game in general. This is one of those ones that if you are a two-player mainly style gamer like what I am, I mainly play with two players. Now I do play with more players several times as well, but I enjoy more so just two players, because then that way you're not having to wait and deal with people with AP, or having to wait for your turn to come around too long. It keeps me more interested in games. This is certainly a game that I just cannot recommend enough that you should be picking up. Targi is just a game that is at the top of my list for two-player only strategy games that you should certainly get, and hands down. And I've just still kind of scratched the surface of this. I mean, it just seems like every time I play, I find something a little bit more, tribe cards wise, or even some strategies around the border that seem to make it to where I'm like, wow, you know what? Why didn't I think about that before? For instance, in the playthrough, I've never used the silversmith as much as I did, and in this game I did, and these are actually the highest scores I've ever done in the game so far. I've never beat 40 points, but I've been right at that, 30, 32, and 36 points is actually my high score in this game. So anyways, I can't recommend this game enough. You guys should check out Targi if you get a chance. And as usual, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you could, leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't. It's always very encouraging. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.